Hey you guys, I'm on live. I'm gonna wait a few minutes so you guys can hop on and get the notification and join me. Today I'm going to be talking about FAD diets. I'm gonna be talking about why they don't work and which diets have some scientific evidence and some basis to it, and which ones are total crap, total BS. So I'll just wait another minute or two to see if anyone can come on live, and if not, that's okay. I'll just record it for you guys so you guys can watch at your own time. I'll wait one more minute. I thought this was a really good spot yesterday for me, so I decided to come back here. I just hope that you can see me okay. If you hop on, if you can hear me okay, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're watching. Let me know you're here. That way I can get started. Alright, so it's 4 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So again, today I wanted to come on and talk to you guys about fads and fad diets. And maybe you may have bought into some of these at some point in your life. But I wanted to clarify what that means, what it is, why you should avoid it, and some of the ones that are like total BS that you should just skip, and then what you should do instead. I know that yesterday, hey Vane, hey Vanessa. Yeah, yesterday we talked about clean eating and the clean eating lifestyle and what it means. So today I just wanted to get you to the flip side and talk about fads and what is just, total BS. So first I wanted to start with a definition of a fad. So what exactly is a fad in general? Not a fad diet per se, but a fad. So I looked it up on the dictionary, and basically a fad is an intense and widely shared enthusiasm for something, especially something that is short-lived and without basis in the object's qualities, or in other words, aka a craze. So that being said, what is a fad diet? A fad diet, as the name implies, is a short-term quick fix, and it actually sets up many dieters or people who go on these things for failure, because there's a lot of conflicting claims, a lot of testimonials of things of there's this diet and this diet and this diet. There's specific things to look out for so that what's actually BS. But the bottom line is kind of super simple. If a diet or if like a fitness product or something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And it's probably a fad diet. So there's nothing magical in the world. There's no food or pills or wraps or whatever that's going to help you reach your goal. You have to put in the work. There's nothing that's going to alter your genetics. There's nothing that's going to really miraculously melt fat without you doing anything. So you just got to watch out for these claims. So now I want to go into how to spot a fad diet. So there are fad diets tend to produce or have like a claim of something. The one that's most common in these fad diets are, number one, rapid weight loss. If something is promising you fast weight loss, like you lose 10 pounds in 12 days or something like that, that is insane. Like, run the other direction. First of all, just because it does work, and like, let's say you do, I don't know, this is not even a real diet, but the water diet. Let's just say you do something that's called the water diet because it says you're going to lose 10 pounds in 12 days, and you do it, yeah, you're going to lose weight, but is that real weight? Did you really lose 10 pounds of body fat? No, probably not. You lost water, you probably lost some muscle, maybe you lost some bone if it's really that drastic, and it's not going to be a permanent weight change. It's just going to be something that you do in the short term for a quick fix. Again, that's what a fad is. It's something that's just craze or something that's popular in the moment. Slow and steady weight loss is always the best bet, especially if you want this to be a forever thing for you. If you just want to lose weight, a crash diet because you want to go, or you're going to a wedding on Saturday and you have 5 days to do it, then that's a different story. But if you want this to be a lifestyle change for you, or if you want this to be a long-term permanent change, then slow and steady is going to be the best bet. So if that diet claims rapid weight loss, go the other way. Okay, so if the diet gives you limits, or tells you that you can eat as much as you want of something, go the other way too. That's a fad. So for example, if a diet tells you, it's called the grapefruit diet, and it's letting you eat as much grapefruit as you want, that's crazy. Or the cabbage soup diet that tells you to eat nothing but cabbage soup, again, crazy. Not an actual healthy, sustainable diet. Not only is it just boring to eat the same thing over and over, it's monotonous. You're going to be missing nutrients. You're going to be bored to tears. You're not really losing any sustainable weight. You're not going to be eating enough calories to maintain activity levels. You're going to feel like crap probably. So avoid things like that. Even if you take a multivitamin during that time, you still aren't going to get everything that you need: fiber, nutrients, etc. So steer clear of something that tells you to eat all of one item. Okay, so this third one drives me crazy every time I hear someone say it. Specific food combinations, saying that, oh, you can't eat protein, you can't eat chicken with fruit or something. Like, I'm like, what? That's crazy. That's just, to me, it's crazy. To a lay person, again, I studied nutrition for years and years and years. To anyone else, that might seem reasonable, but there's no scientific evidence for that. There's really no perfect time of day or food combination that you should be doing that's going to magically help you lose weight or help you get healthy. There's no wrong combination of food that's going to immediately turn to fat or produce toxins in your intestines, or any of those other things that those diets or those people who propose these claims. There's no basis on that. There's no scientific evidence. They've done studies, and again, time and time again, it's just there's no sound evidence for combining foods or not combining foods. So feel free to eat meat and fruit in the same meal if you want to. It's not gonna do anything crazy. Okay, so if the diet plan that you are looking at has a super rigid menu, or something that just feels overwhelming, skip it. What you want from a diet or a way of eating is thinking about, is this a good way that I can eat for the rest of my life? Like, can I do this forever and be okay with it and be satisfied and happy and not feeling like you're deprived or starving? If you can, because again, like low carb diets are good for some people, not good for other people. There's no one size fits all. So when you're looking at a plan, when you're looking at a diet, when you're looking at a program, just look at it with the eyes of is this going to be something that I can do forever? Low carb diets are good for a lot of people, but again, not everyone can do it forever. So if it's not sustainable for you, then don't even start now. You could do a more sensible plan. But there's different options, and you don't have to just stick to the one craze that everyone's doing because it worked for someone else. So again, think of, can I eat this way for the rest of my life? If yes, proceed. If no, then don't do it, and find something else that can work. Okay, and finally, if the diet tells you that you don't need to exercise, then that's total bullshit. And I'm sorry, I like to curse, but it's total BS. You need to exercise. Exercise is important not just for losing weight and general health. It's the key to enjoying long-term success. It's not just good for weight loss. There's so many benefits to exercise. And again, this mini challenge isn't about fitness yet, or not really. It's about fitness, more about the nutrition aspect. But if it tells you not to exercise, run the other direction, because again, that's BS. If you want to maintain a healthy weight, if you want to build muscle, if you want to lose fat, exercise is going to be super important. The best thing you can do is have a combination of both nutrition and fitness. And if you're ever in doubt about a diet, or like what is good, like if it's like a true, like accurate, or something that has some kind of evidence to it, ask a dietitian or ask a doctor. If you don't know a dietitian, yes you do, because I'm a dietitian. So feel free to ask me, feel free to post in the group. I'd love to give you my thoughts, and if I haven't heard of it, I'll do research for you. But don't just go try anything, things that could be potentially dangerous too. So just steer clear of any diets that make those claims, because those are all going to be BS. So I did want to talk to you today also about a few diets that you may have heard of, maybe not, but most likely you have. because they're very popular nowadays. And these diets actually have some kind of scientific evidence or historical use, and that are actually, I'm not saying that everyone should do them, but I'm saying that there is scientific background to support the claims that they claim. The first one is the paleo diet. So I'm sure you've heard of this one. This one is, the basis of this one is to say, those proponents of the paleo diet say that we should be eating the way our ancestors ate, or like the cavemen or people in the Paleolithic era ate, which is mostly, meat, anything that you can hunt, gather, fish, nuts, seeds, things like that, right? So what is awesome about this diet is that it emphasizes real whole foods. It avoids dairy, grains, and legumes. Now, it could be a pro and con. There's pros and cons to every diet, really. With the paleo diet, it's good. It's good for a lot of people. It showed decreased insulin, increased insulin sensitivity. So, like if you're resistant or diabetic, it's shown to reverse it. It helps people lose weight, but not everyone is good. This diet is good for everyone, because some people might feel deprived because it restricts legumes and grains and dairy. And if you love it, why are you gonna, unless you have some kind of physical need or medical condition that you need to take those things away from your diet, there's no need to avoid it, unless you don't care about those. Like, for example, I'm Cuban and I love black beans, and if I had to skip black beans for the rest of my life, I can't follow a diet like that, and so I can't be super strict paleo, because I love black beans and that's just the way it is, and I have no aversion to black beans. I am super healthy, my gut's healthy, so I eat black beans and it's fine. So I am not strict paleo, but that diet can be good for some people, and there's a lot of studies backing it up now. The second diet that I wanted to talk about that has some good scientific background and historical background is the ketogenic diet. Now, this diet is, I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It's not anything new. There's like a shadow in my face, so I'm trying to get out of it. So this diet is not necessarily new, but it's making its circles now in like the fitness and nutrition world, or the fat loss world. And this diet is a high fat, moderate protein, super low carb diet. And I wouldn't recommend this diet unless you're prone to seizures, or have epilepsy, or you're very insulin resistant, and or like super diabetic and you can't tolerate carbohydrates. This diet has been shown to be effective in a lot of markers, but it is very restrictive. And if you're the type of person who likes to eat carbs and isn't necessarily like addicted to carbs, this may be good. This might not work for you, because you're gonna want to indulge, and then you're gonna feel like a failure if you indulge, and then you're gonna have to go back on the diet, etc., etc. So it could be good, but it's not for everyone. It's especially good for those with seizures, like I said before, or people who are insulin resistant. And then the third diet that has some scientific background to it, again, it's not for everybody, but it's the gluten-free diet. And I'm almost positive you've heard of this, because this is everywhere. People have been going or trying to do gluten-free in efforts to lose weight, and it is totally not effective as a weight loss diet, unless you're going paleo or you're going low carb or something like that. But if you're just going gluten-free to go gluten-free, it's not going to be really effective. What gluten-free is good for, and again, if you don't know what gluten is the protein that's found in wheat products and rye, barley, and triticale, and some oats. So this diet avoids gluten in all forms, and products made with gluten or have gluten as an ingredient. And this is not effective for weight loss, but is important for people with celiac disease, which is a gut disorder. So if you don't have celiac disease or any kind of really gluten insensitivity, there's no need for you to go on a gluten diet. It's not going to help you, gluten-free diet. It's not going to help you lose weight, unless, again, you're going low carb and you're just avoiding all kinds of heavy starches. But it's not going to work if you're just going gluten-free to go gluten-free. Okay, so, and then I did want to reiterate, what works for one person may not necessarily work for somebody else. So just because your friend tried the whatever diet here and you try it, it may not work for you because you're made completely different than that person. So it really is a lot of trial and error, and I think a good place to start is by eating clean and just cleaning up your diet all around, because a lot of these foods, a lot of these diets do start with the basis of eating clean, real, whole processed foods, and I think that that's the basis and where a lot of us should start on our journeys. And then from there we can do other protocols like paleo or ketogenic or whatever. But if you're still eating junk food on these diets, it's still not gonna make sense, or it's not gonna be as effective as you want it to be. Okay, so then now I want to talk about the bullshit diets. The diets that, like, I know for a fact are like there's no scientific basis or claim or like evidence on them, and you should just avoid them until there's more scientific research. The first one is any diet that claims it's a detox or like a cleanse. First of all, our bodies naturally cleanse themselves. Like, we have a liver, we have kidneys, and as long as they're working normally, we don't need to detox, or we don't need to have a detox diet. That being said, there are things that we can do to help our body naturally detox itself. First of all, you don't need one of those cleanses or one of those things that like have you drinking water and cayenne pepper and lemon and maple syrup and all this craziness. Like, you don't need to do that for 3 or 5 days. You don't need to do that for a week. You don't have to. Our bodies can naturally do that for us. But in order to help move that along, what you can do is make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Take that gallon, go to Publix or your supermarket, buy a gallon of water, drink that gallon of water throughout the day, help flush your system. Vegetables, eat that at every single meal. The fibrous ones, broccoli, carrots, spinach, onion, tomato. Those are going to be your best friends in order to continue to flush your system. The fiber in it is what's going to be very helpful. Other things with fiber, nuts, seeds, whole grains. The grains I would stay away from just because they can be a little bit inflammatory for the detox process, but nuts and seeds definitely, along with beans and vegetables. All that's going to help to naturally detox your system if you're looking for something. Like, for example, when I went on a cruise this past year in September, dude, I gained 9 pounds that trip because I was eating whatever the hell I wanted, drinking all day, whatever. I came back, I was 9 pounds heavier. So to detox, I didn't do any crazy like lemon cleanse or whatever. I drank a gallon of water every day. I had vegetables, like my plate was like with vegetables and like very little anything else. It was mostly veggies and fruits, and drank a ton of water, and I lost half of that within a few days. Half of the 9 pounds within a few days. So that's how I detoxed. That's just an example, and that's what I recommend for you as well. Also, probiotics, or foods with probiotics, or fermented foods like kefir, yogurt, kombucha. I love kombucha. All of that stuff is going to naturally help your GI tract get rid of things and detox your body naturally in the natural process instead of having to do anything crazy. Okay, so then another BS diet that I really want to talk about, and I'm sure you've heard of it. It's kind of old, not old, but it's been around the ringer for a few years. The HCG diet. This diet pisses me off because it's like starvation diet. Like, you lose weight rapidly, yeah, because you're eating 500 calories. Like, if 500 calories for me is barely a meal, like, I'm sorry, what is that? You eat 500 calories for the whole day. That's starvation. Not just that it's a 500 calorie diet, but then they inject you with a hormone that's supposedly appetite suppressant. But you guys, they're injecting people with hormone, with like an extra hormone, for what? To lose weight? And the studies are showing that it's not effective. The hormone isn't effective as an appetite suppressant. That is more of a placebo effect, meaning you think that you're going to get a benefit from that injection when really it's just your mind creating that response because you believe that's what's going to happen to you. So the FDA hasn't even approved them for weight loss. So anything that's over the counter that says HCG is illegal. So steer clear of that. Besides, you can lose weight eating way more than 500 calories. I promise. I do. Okay, there's another diet going around. It's called the blood type diet, and this is another BS diet. I have my notes here. That's why I'm looking, because I I've never done the blood type or any of these diets, so I need to get the info on them. Okay, so this diet is basically based on your blood type. So if you have blood type O or A or AB or whatever it is, you're supposed to eat certain foods and avoid other certain foods. There is absolutely no scientific basis on this. There's nothing proven. There's nothing that's out there scientifically that says your blood type affects weight loss. And then depending on which blood type you are, it can be super restrictive. So why do it, you know? All right, and then there's a third diet. It's called the alkaline diet. And this is a diet that is known as, you cut out all these foods that are high in acid forming or highly acidic, and that's in a way to maintain pH levels in your body. But again, our bodies are super smart. They can do that on its own. You don't need a diet to tell you to do that or help your body do that. Our bodies do it naturally, unless of course we have some kind of disease or autoimmune thing or medical need for it. The alkaline diet is BS. It's not gonna help with, especially in terms of weight loss, it's not gonna help. What's good about that diet is that you cut out processed foods, the artificial stuff. It decreases your sugar intake, caffeine, alcohol, other things that are highly acidic. But for the purpose of lowering your pH level in order to lose weight, that's BS. It could make you a little bit healthier just because you're eating more vegetables and more fruits. But again, the purpose of the alkalinity and the blood pH, that's all BS. So don't buy into that if you've heard of it. Oh my gosh, and this one I actually just heard of like yesterday or today, this morning. It's called the 5-bite diet. And I need to know if you guys have heard of it. Have you heard of the 5-bite diet, anybody? Because I can't. So this diet basically tells you that you eat whatever you want, but you're only allowed to eat 5 bites of whatever you're eating. So like if you eat a pizza, you can only have 5 bites, and then that's it. Like, what? Okay, so this diet was developed by a doctor. Most of them have been. Again, doctors don't study nutrition. They take one class, and they think they're experts. Anyway, so yeah, so you're supposed to skip breakfast and eat only 5 bites of food for lunch and 5 more for dinner. So it's cool if you want to eat smaller portions of your favorite things, because I'm all about balance and yeah, you never heard of it, Vanessa? It's crazy, right? I would never do it. So yeah, like I'm okay with, obviously I'm very into my balance and moderation, having things that you like. But to say you can only have 5 bites, that's a little restrictive and a little insane and a little, I don't know, that just sounds to me like a crash course, like a fad. I mean, that's exactly what it is. And then on this diet, even if you take gigantic bites, you're still gonna eat 1,000 calories or less. It's crazy. Okay, so what should you do instead? So yesterday we talked about the clean eating lifestyle, and again, I really think that eating clean and starting there is going to be an awesome starting point if you're new to changing your lifestyle behavior. If you're used to eating a lot of processed food, doing any of these diets is going to be is going to be ineffective anyway, or it might be effective for the short term, but for the long term and for the progress that you want to keep forever, it's not going to work. So I think starting with a clean lifestyle, getting rid of processed foods, making sure that the majority of your foods, at least 70%, are clean, whole, everything that's fresh. If man made it, try not to touch it. But if it's from the earth or the ground, or it's an animal or from the sea, then that would be a better option. That's gonna be, and if you didn't catch yesterday's video, go ahead and watch it. It's clean eating. WTF is clean eating anyway. That was what I labeled it. Watch it because I give a lot of information about clean eating and how to get incorporated into that lifestyle. And then once you're used to clean eating, you can start doing a little bit of flexible dieting, and that incorporates more, that gives you kind of like an individualized macronutrient profile. So you get a certain amount of carbohydrates, a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of fats per day, and then you could be flexible with what you eat. But I think that would be better suited for someone who's already used to the clean eating lifestyle, just because it could be a slippery slope. So definitely clean eating is the way to go, especially when you're starting out. Be wary of the fad diets or anything with these crazy like hype claims that are that sound too good to be true or that sound overly restrictive. And yeah, just be sensible about what you eat. Try to eat everything whole, fresh, unprocessed, and you should be fine. And then make sure that you're eating in the portion that you're allotted. And you guys have any questions while I'm here, while I'm on, about anything that I said? FAD diets. Are there any diets that you have heard of maybe that I may be able to shed some light on that I didn't talk about already? Alright guys, well if you think of anything, please feel free to post in the group. I want to give my input, my 2 cents on any weird diets you may have heard of or things that you may have tried. Actually, that's my challenge for you today. If you choose to accept it, comment below or post in the group with a FAD diet that you've tried, whether I mentioned it or not, and talk about the results or non-results or experience that you had with that diet. And I'm super excited to hear what you have to say. No, Carrie, I did not talk about Weight Watchers. I wouldn't think that that's a fad. That's more of a kind of like 21 Day Fix. Like that's like just a way of counting your food and measuring and stuff like that. A fad diet is something that would have like it's like a short-term thing that's a quick fix, something like the cookie diet or something that gives you something that's too good to be true, the cabbage diet or this cabbage soup diet or whatever, the grapefruit diet, any kind of cleanses, things like that. Yeah. All right, you guys, so any other questions, feel free to comment below and I'll answer as soon as I see them, okay? All right, guys, super good talking to you. I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll see you in the group.